Let me quickly talk to you about ShipMonk versus Whitebox versus the Fulfillment Lab versus FedEx. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to speak to you very quickly about ShipMonk versus Whitebox versus the Fulfillment Lab versus FedEx. So we basically are trying to do a compare and contrast between those four fulfillment companies. It's important to understand that when we talk about fulfillment, you need to weigh the cost and pricing models, okay? So you have an amazing product. The consumer demand is there. You know that your product is going to sell, okay? How do you actually ship the product to the customer? There is a whole host of, I would say, logistics problems and issues and matters to take care of before you actually ship your product to your customer. It's also very important to understand that while you're doing it, you need to pay attention to your branding. You need to pay attention to customer service. You need to pay attention to customer retention, okay? So you need to determine whether you need a 3PL for fulfillment, a third-party logistics company. It's important because every business that outsources fulfillment is better for it. Wrong. Because you know your business better than anyone, and only you can evaluate whether a fulfillment provider is the right choice and when. So you need to really think about that, and you want to, our advice here is to fulfill on your own as long as you can without harming other parts of your business. In other words, if your business is new or your business is still small, if you can do it yourself, do it. But as you start scaling, as you start growing, you want to pay attention to outsourcing, okay? And there are certain questions you want to pay attention to before outsourcing. Can you physically store all the packing materials you need if you buy in bulk? Can you afford the storage space? Are you able to scale with the labor you have? Can the time your teams invest in fulfillment be better spent in areas such as product innovation, business development, marketing, and more? So that's what it is, Be on the lookout for the point at which the DIY method will cost you more in money, time, and burnout than your profit. So it's all about cost versus benefits, okay? And it's important that to understand that when we speak about fulfillment, we also we want to pay attention to inbound and receiving, product storage, fulfillment, and carrier selection. This is really, really important, okay? And when we talk about carrier selection, we want to pay attention to making sure that you are not just sacrificing cost, you're not sacrificing profits for cost. What I'm trying to say here is that you might be saving money here and there, but what if your customers are better off if you were to outsource the whole operation? So this is really, really, really important, okay? So when we talk about fulfillment and carrier selection, how many days the carrier needs to deliver to the customer, what service level meets your customer needs, for example, second-day air, ground, consolidation services. If it's a residential shipment, surcharges may apply. If the customer lives in the suburbs, delivery areas, surcharges may apply. And if the customer lives in a rural area, extended delivery areas surcharges may apply. So those surcharges are really important. So pay attention to the pricing models here. Okay. Speaking about the pricing models, you want to look at the pricing models for pick and pack 3PL. I want you to look right now on the screen. So you can see the pricing models for labor, supplies, and shipping. Again, here we are speaking about the third-party logistics, and we're speaking about the pick and pack model. This is important, and I want you to really look at it because this is going to affect your profitability, but also the sustainability and the scalability of your online business. Labor, so you have inbound, receiving, per order fee, hourly rate for picking and packing. So for supplies, there are three ways. You have companies that charge on a as needed basis. Some will charge you when 3PL buys the supply, and sometimes you have reduced or no charge if the client provides the supplies. And then you have shipping. So those are things I want you to pay attention to. So this will be customized to your business, okay, depending on the kind of customers you have. And the thing is that you might be, if you're new, if you're a small player, if you're a small online player, you'll probably have an idea of your customer base. But as your business grows, you might need software. You might need some kind of automation to find out exactly what will fit to your business model. Okay, and one thing you need to understand here is that you need to find a fulfillment company that scales with you. In other words, if demand increases, there's no impact to a brand's delivery. They know how to scale with you. Okay, and if you're like, when you start, you want to save money, but as you scale, you want to be able to have software and a fulfillment company that stands by you, that will work with you. Okay, so there are other considerations that you need to think about when choosing a 3PL fulfillment provider. So what technology do they use in the warehouse? What data will they provide and how often? It's important. Reporting and analytics are critical here. Again, especially if you're trying to grab intel from your operation, you want to know clearly what's going on, and this is important. And what carrier integrations do they have? Is there flexibility with regional and national carriers? How many fulfillment centers do they operate, and where are they located? It's important to be as close as possible to your customer to keep shipping costs down. Okay, how will they allocate your inventory? Make sure your inventory is not spread too thin across too many fulfillment centers or concentrated in a location far from your customers. It's all about proximity to your customers. It's all about proximity to your profit centers. Okay, and does the 3PL handle D2C exclusively, or can they also take on B2B? Okay, so you want to keep in mind that D2C and B2B require different processes and will not be charged the same way. It's important. So those are things I want you to pay attention to. One thing you need to understand is that a reputable third-party logistics player can answer all the questions I've given you without hesitation. Okay, it's important that you evaluate your provider on a yearly basis to ensure your goals are being met. This is important. Okay, a good rule of thumb in our view is to check in with your 3PL 6 months prior to your busy season. Let's first start the actual compare and contrast. Let's start with Whitebox fulfillment. Okay, so Whitebox fulfillment is really a unique third-party logistics company that basically gives you full service marketplace management solutions, and they focus on small and mid-sized businesses, the SMBs. Okay, and so the company consists of an order fulfillment operation and a separate marketing agency. So the two are usually used in tandem when they are working with their clients. Okay, so the company's main focus is on Amazon, although it can also fulfill multi-channel orders to promote non-Amazon stores. So Whitebox has a very unique turnkey 3PL services that collection of services that create a hands-off sales process for their clients. So you want to use Whitebox if you are an Amazon seller, if you are a multipreneur. Okay, this is good. You're doing a lot of things at the same time, so you want to use Whitebox for that. You want to outsource the fulfillment part to them. If you are a drop shipper, this is also good because Whitebox can manage your drop ship operation in addition to your traditional stores. If you are a product manufacturer, you can also use Whitebox. If you are a brick and mortar store planning to expand online, and you should, then you can also hire Whitebox to handle all online operations. This is really good. And if you want to use, there are times when you want to use an alternative to Whitebox. For example, if you are a seller on a budget right now, if you are just starting and you are trying to monitor cost, you don't want to use Whitebox for now. If you use oversized, heavy, fragile, or high value products, you might use another provider. For example, Red Stag. We have reviewed this company on another show. If you are a well-established business, you want to use another provider. If you are a multi-channel seller, it's basically better to use another provider because Whitebox has the infrastructure to handle multi-channel sales, and its services can be applied to any sales channel. But for small businesses, it is not the best choice unless Amazon is your primary marketplace. And if you are a startup and young business, you can also go with another player. Okay, so when we talk about Whitebox, the pros and cons: you have 2-day shipping for 99% of the continental US. You have a full service marketplace. This is really good. You have advanced reporting, forecasting, and analytics, and you have Amazon advantages through Whitebox's highly rated seller accounts. And one thing I want to say here is that there are some features and services that you might love with Whitebox. You have warehousing, order fulfillment, shipping, multi-channel capabilities, client support, software integrations, and special services. They also have things like quality control, sales forecasting, Amazon FBA stock preparation, FBA stock maintenance. They also create and manage sales channel listings. Okay, this is really good, and they can also help you with marketing products and improving listings. They have a sale. They do sales servicing, and they provide transparency. In terms of their pricing, you can see on the screen here, Whitebox pricing. Okay, you can have an idea of what the price, but it's just a lot better to call them. Okay, it's a lot better to call them. So they do provide marketplace management services, growth. They have a growth agency, analytics. We love their software, their Whitebox software, their Omnify. It's a great software. It does a lot of great things. They also do post-sale servicing. They offer 2-day shipping. This is really good. Okay, they have special services as well, advanced inventory management, product selection testing, subscription box fulfillment, and so on and so forth. So overall, this is a great player. I want to quickly talk to you about the Fulfillment Lab. So when you think about Fulfillment Lab, I want you to think about marketing and fulfillment that are just fusing together. They're combining together to give you a wonderful service. Okay, so you are basically trying to capitalize on same-day order fulfillment with 1 to 3 day delivery. Okay, and what we love with the Fulfillment Lab is they do a great job at actually making sure that you have the best service possible. So you can integrate your e-commerce store in minutes, okay? And you can get started with the software called the GFS. I'll talk about the GFS later on. And you can send your inventory to a warehouse closest to you, okay? And they have 2 domestics and 12 international fulfillment facilities. So basically, the Fulfillment Lab will receive and store inventory strategically to reduce shipping costs and increase the speed of delivery. And then you can customize your orders with fulfillment marketing, okay? And you can bring your marketing data into fulfillment to help customize packaging for an entirely unique experience that increases brand awareness and customer loyalty. What we love with the Fulfillment Lab is that they have a system in place that helps you utilize same-day order processing. Okay, they have a proprietary software that takes care of that. This is really good. And once the orders are received, orders are processed and sent with complete end-to-end visibility throughout the entire fulfillment process. Okay, we love that because you have end-to-end visibility. Your customers also have end-to-end visibility in terms of tracking number, in terms of notifications along the way. Fantastic. So there are 4. When we talk about the Fulfillment Lab, we have 4 key software tools, and then we have the packaging, the customized packaging service model. Okay, you have a proprietary software. So you have order fulfillment software that empowers your online store. This is just fantastic. This is with the GFS software. Okay, you also have the global fulfillment software itself. So you have the proprietary software, but you also have the GFS itself. So this is the global fulfillment software. So you're able to basically constantly innovate. You're able to constantly improve your fulfillment process. You also have international shipping with the Fulfillment Lab. We love that, and they are constantly bringing new service models to this particular process. So you can create your global fulfillment strategy. Okay, this is important, especially if you have a global operation. If you have clients overseas, this is really good. So the Fulfillment Lab has a global footprint. They are in the U.S., they are in the UK, they are in Panama, they are in Russia, they are in Singapore, they are in China, they are in Denmark, among other places. Okay, so you can talk to their international fulfillment experts, and they also have dynamic integrations. So this is kind of good because you have an easy turnkey integrations for e-commerce platforms. This is really good. And in terms of marketing, the Fulfillment Lab does a great job also. Okay, and they basically use insights collected through marketing data to basically help you deliver a bespoke experience to keep your customers happy. So the importance of customized fulfillment is really key here. You want to build brand recognition, you want to tailor your customer experience, you want to create loyal brand advocates, and you want to leverage data insight. And you want to do this continually. And think about customized packaging as well. This is really important because this is going to help you move forward. You can transform your user experience with customized packaging, and you can use data to create different market segments. Fantastic. And don't forget that if you need more information, contact the Fulfillment Lab. Pricing is available upon request. Let me talk to you about ShipMonk. So when you think about ShipMonk, I want you to think about a third-party logistics company that caters to small and medium-sized businesses and they also provide warehousing. They provide warehousing, order fulfillment, and shipping solutions. Okay, they have a strong tech-forward platform. We love that, and they're constantly trying to reduce fulfillment costs and increase operational accuracy through robotic automation and advanced warehouse management systems. Okay, and they have 3 U.S. fulfillment centers, and the thing with ShipMonk is they're constantly innovating, and it's just amazing. Like they are really they have invested so much money in robotic automation in the last few months or even years that it's just amazing what the results can be for the customer. So they are one of a few companies that make fulfillment less complex and value added in our view. Okay, so when should you use ShipMonk? If you are a small e-commerce business, if you're trying to scale, you can use them. If you are seeking international expansion, they are a good service. If you are a crowdfunding venture, you can use them. If you're a Groupon, Etsy, or a subscription box seller, you can use ShipMonk. If you're a B2B seller, they are great. If you're an Amazon seller, they're also great. Fantastic. When do you need to use an alternative? If you're using heavy, fragile, or oversized products, if you are dealing with higher value products, if you are dealing with health products, food and beverage, cosmetics, and medical goods, or if you seek global distribution, it's better to use another provider. Now, I'm not saying that ShipMonk cannot ship internationally. Of course it can, but all of its warehouses are located in North America. So this is something you need to think about. Okay, so ShipMonk, an overview, especially when we think about the pros, some of the pros. You have best-in-class support from a dedicated service representative. You have advanced accuracy measures and warehouse automation. You have versatile programs for non-traditional business models and sales channels, among other things. Okay, and I want you to think about some features that really are great with the ShipMonk. You have warehousing. They offer the following services: warehousing, e-commerce fulfillment, retail fulfillment, subscription box fulfillment, FDA preparation, shipping, customer service, software, customization, integrations, and special services. Okay, and in terms of pricing, you have to give them a call. Actually, you can give them a call. They do have some system on the website, but it's just a lot better to give them a call. On the website, they have a 5-step calculator to help you have an idea of how much you will pay. But if you call someone, they will just be able to explain to you things a lot faster. And what are the ShipMonk key features? You have client support. They are really great. They have integrated technology. They have packing customization. And in terms of integrations, they do have e-commerce platforms and shopping carts, marketplaces, multi-channel management, freight and shipping solutions, operations, inventory and order management, payments, accounting, tax and financing, marketing, and CRM. Fantastic. And in terms of ease of use, ShipMonk is very easy to use. In terms of the policies, the accuracy, the customer service, transparency, this is a service that's very easy to use. Okay, and we have done research, and we believe across the board that users are very satisfied with their services. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Sort of Kiwi Show. Today we are having a comparative analysis of 4 players when it comes to e-commerce fulfillment. And I want to quickly review the FedEx. So when you think about FedEx, obviously FedEx is well known. So the actual unit we are speaking about is FedEx Fulfillment. Okay, this is a subsidiary of the FedEx Corporation that provides third-party logistics, including warehousing, order fulfillment, and shipping. And the platform appeals to small and medium-sized businesses with its low order minimums, cost-effective services, and ramp-up onboarding period. Okay, and we love the fact that with FedEx, if you have small, lightweight goods, you can use them. If you are an international seller, you can use them because FedEx has a wide global footprint with numerous centrally located hubs accessible from its European global distribution center. Okay, and if you're a multi-channel seller, you can use also FedEx. If you're a solopreneur who has outgrown your in-house fulfillment operation, yes, in other words, you don't have the resources anymore to take care of fulfillment yourself, you want to outsource, then yes, you want to think about FedEx. And if you are in B2B sales, you can use also FedEx. Now, if it's better in our view to use an alternative if you are dealing with high value, heavy, fragile or oversized products. If you are a crowdfunding venture and you're dealing with product launches, it's just a lot better to focus to use another player. And if you are an Amazon focused seller, FedEx might not be the right fulfillment, the right 3PL for you. Okay, so overall, we love the fact that with FedEx, we have fast, low-cost nationwide delivery. You have a large fulfillment network that supports high volumes, efficient distribution, and unlimited growth. You have a very sophisticated product and order tracking technology. Okay, you have an international distribution center, among other things. And they also have fantastic software that provides high levels of visibility into billing, fulfillment, shipping, and more. So those are the pros. They do have a few cons, but the pros far outweigh the cons. And with FedEx, you have the following services and features. You have warehousing. Can you believe they have more than 130 warehouses in the U.S. plus one international fulfillment center? This is just fantastic. They also offer order fulfillment, shipping, integrations, reverse logistics. Okay, they have tracking. They offer tracking and visibility. So FedEx Fulfillment offers real-time order and shipment tracking for you and your customers, plus live insights on inventory data. They have climate control, multi-channel capabilities, customer service, startup fund. They also are very friendly to startups. They have an easy onboarding process, and they also offer special services. And in terms of pricing, you can actually see on the screen here. So the screenshot number 1 and the screenshot number 2. So this is actually the company's standard pricing. You can also call them to have more information. And in terms of their fulfillment network, it's just fantastic. You know, they have one of the biggest fulfillment networks in the United States. They have 130 U.S. warehouses. That's just fantastic, okay? And in terms of integrations, they integrate very well with e-commerce platforms and marketplaces, Shopify, Magento, Walmart, and so on and so forth. Accounting, tax, and financing, QuickBooks, Square, and Xero. And they also are great in terms of support. They have great processes in place to handle error policies, to focus on accuracy and transparency. So overall, this is a great player. All right, folks. So we have compared and contrasted those 4 players, those 4 3PLs, and it's about time to decide. Big decision time. Big decision time. Which one do you choose? Which 3PL should you choose for your e-commerce situation? It really depends. Okay. So when we talk about 3PL selection, we pay attention to a few criteria, and you should as well. So you want to pay attention to shipping speeds. First of all, you want to start with what stage your current business is in. Are you scaling? Are you just starting? Are you an established business? Are you growing? What kind of what's going on in your company? What's going on in your industry? Is your industry growing? Double digits, single digits? Think about those things. Those numerical and indicators should be an important element in your decision to select one player over another. Okay. Do you care about shipping speeds? Do you want same day delivery? Do you want 2-day delivery? What do your customers care about? Okay, do you care about the location of fulfillment warehouses? If you do, then you need to choose a supplier. You need to choose a 3PL that is pretty close to your customers. This is if you have a regional strategy or you have a national strategy. Okay, what are the features of order fulfillment software? Do they have software? And if yes, what are the features that you pay attention to? They're really important to you. What about transparency and visibility? Because you want to really use software that is very easy to use, right? You want to use software that is user-friendly, that's intuitive. You don't want to spend time just learning the software. What about branding options? So does the 3PL offer branding options? You want to pay attention to that, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's all about retaining the customer. It's all about customer retention and loyalty. And if you can deliver a nice, I would say, a compelling branding process, compelling branding operation across the board, this could really help beef up your reputation vis-a-vis the clients. What about packaging options? Do you care about those? So you want to ask some questions about that when you contact a fulfillment company. Okay. What about returns management? It's important to understand that, we are in e-commerce, and you are going to have refunds. You are going to have to deal with returns. That's just the way it is, okay? But plan ahead. What about cost? Also ask the fulfillment company about cost. So after evaluating those 4 players, our pick is ShipMonk. We have given ShipMonk 9.5 over 10, Whitebox 9 over 10, FedEx Fulfillment 9 over 10, and the Fulfillment Lab 8.5 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention, folks. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.